You've always made it your North Star as an artist and storyteller to be experimental and to live in your character's truth and their circumstances. But when you're playing somebody like Lacey, who's been through the unimaginable, how do you find where she sits within you and creating that space to tackle her vulnerability and her strengths? I think you brought so much truth to that, and that's why she's so much that emotional core for the entire team and for audiences.
Well, thank you. Thank you for saying that. With any character that I approach, I try to find my emotional truth within it. So I look at the character and what they're experiencing and what I experience in the read, and I utilize different personal choices from my own life experience. Of course, I've never been taken and experienced the unimaginable thing of being taken and missing. But I, do know what it's like to have experienced different forms of abuse and trauma. And so I draw from those things to try and give as much as possible to match or meet what's required to tell the story.
They've always succeeded in that. And I think at the end of season one, Gabby's secret comes to life and it leaves the team in such a fractured state. Given Lacey and Gabby's shared traumatic history with Sir, do you think it'll make the path forward easier or more difficult for Lacey?
It's a great question. I think learning about Gabby and, having lied to her is huge for Lacey. Gabby is not only Lacey's sister, but she's her hero. So learning that your heroes are fallible and that there is uh error in them and that there's margin for error and that these people are real and not on the same pedestal as you had them at before, can be heartbreaking, but I think it allows room for there to be error and more and be able to make mistakes. So hopefully that will open Lacey up in some ways, but I do think that it's going to be something that's difficult to grapple with. But the bond of having been through the same thing with the same person, Sir, having taken both of them captive and having that mutual experience, I think will that bond is still unbreakable.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much complexity with this series. As I've been kind of screening the second season, I've been thinking about how Lacey would probably be the person that forgives her the easiest. But then to your point, rewatching season one, there is that moment where she asks Gabby what's in that basement and that lie, like you were saying, is there. There's also such an interesting debate that gets brought up amongst the team when that secret is revealed where they're all questioning whether or not the work they've done is tainted. What is your perspective on that personally, and then through the eyes of Lacey?
Personally, I mean, you could say that, but you could say that it's tainted, because this person who is the abuser, the kidnapper, helped out with these things. But I think at the end of the day, personally, I'm like, these people were found.
Yeah.
These I keeping someone in the basement and doing all that. I'm against it. I just want to put that out there. I'm against, kidnapping anyone and putting them in the basement for your own purposes, whether they have done XYZ or not. But I think that at the end of the day, these people were found and, looking past the means and the ways, like, don't do that again, never do that again, but utilizing a resource of someone who thinks that way, I think is beneficial. I think, not that I would kidnap anyone. I just want, I just keep on wanting to put that out there. But I think, if I was a detective, I would want to study and ask criminals what they would
Mm,
a situation to get into the mind of the criminal. You look at all these great and brilliant detective stories, or even some like documentaries, and how, they utilize the way that these people think and the psychology of that to find these people. At the end of the day, that's what you want to do. So utilize your resources, just don't keep them locked up in a basement.
That is such a great point.
And yeah, and for Lacey, Lacey's so headstrong about justice and truth that this is a no. It's a no. I think it coming from her sister may change her perspective, but no, absolutely not. This is something that, is so precious to having been through this, and because it is her kidnapper, it makes it more intense. But I think it's more about the fact that it's Sir, and that his hand is somewhat still over her
Yeah.
life.
And I think that the hallmark of such a great why this show is so great is because it's starting all these different conversations. And you also started taking up writing recently. Have you found that that aspect of your craft has now influenced the way that you approach your work as an actor and interpret scripts that you've been getting in season two? How's that relationship with NK and the writers room grown heading into this new season?
Yeah, I wish I could get into the writers' room with them. Maybe I will someday. I would put it out there. I I think Yeah, I think looking into the detail in the writing, like I've always loved writing and reading scripts, mostly like books I'm still working on, but scripts I love. I love to read scripts. I love to hear the different characters' voices and how they relate to each other. How even the way that NK and the other writers and Sonet go into telling these stories, giving the information as well as the personal aspects, which is very difficult to do. I have not tackled that in my writing as much because I'm not doing a crime drama procedural, but just, like getting those different elements of getting all the case information, which can be, tiresome and very hard for an actor to do. But the way that they write it helps us, be able to bring our characters' truth to it, along
Mhm.
with getting those elements that keeps the audience on the same page. So it's definitely teaching me a lot.
The writers are really putting Lacey through it this season. What was your initial reaction when you got those first couple of scripts?
As an actor, I'm like, yes, I love this, but I'm like, holy cow. Holy cow, I'm gonna have a lot to, a lot to bring, which is scary because the situation is scary, daunting. I've been waiting for this as an actor
Yeah,
to
rewarding.
be able to bring that and have the opportunity to really showcase what I've been working on for, the last decade or so, what I can really bring to the work, and to be able to bring the emotional life that this character, these people, someone who has been taken is going through. Like it's an honor, and it's an honor to be able to be a part of these stories and be able to, raise the awareness that these people are real, and what they're going through is very real, and that we need to pay attention.
Yeah. Beautifully said. And without giving any spoilers, but this season we're also going to see flashbacks of the innocence that was stolen from Lacey after her kidnapping, what life looked like for her after her return. Even though you're not in those scenes, how do those flashbacks deepen your understanding of this character as you and your approach to her in season two?
Oh, immensely, immensely. And Jasmine is such a beautiful little actress. I think when you find out more of what your character has gone through, you get to see that everything is a thread that is infused into the now, even the things that they've surpassed, and
Mhm.
the how deep that actually goes, but that chord is always there. So as an actor, you get to pick out and see different moments within the writing where maybe that chord is just like ding, and infuse that into the work. It's how you talk to different people, how you relate to different situations in our case, the different cases, and the different people, even if it isn't always put directly in the writing, you can, as an actor, be able to uh, pick that out. So it's helped develop me even more. And, like I think as we go along, um, we don't always get into the childhood aspects. So it was a blessing to be able to see that and to have that, because as they write more, you learn more and you have what you've already built in your own closet. But having the childhood aspect of it is really, really a gift. And I think, yeah, I was like, whoa, Lacey has, endured, or the effect and impact that it's had on her, is way more visceral when you get
Yeah.
to experience that, you're on screen.